you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I wanted to take a second to introduce myself since this is our first session for art therapy. So my name is Avery, which you may know. They did give me some of your information here from your psychiatrist, so I was able to kind of read a little bit about you. It looks like you have started coming in for some anxiety and depression.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And have you been through any therapy before?
I have, but not art therapy.
Okay, so you've never done art therapy before?
No.
Okay. Well, I've been doing art therapy for a little while now. I have a background in psychology and a master's in social work. So hopefully we'll be able to touch on some things that will help you out. Tell me, what interested you specifically in art therapy?
Just wanted to try something different and see if it might help.
Okay, very good. Well, I think it's always worth trying something new, especially if you've tried things that maybe didn't work well for you in the past. So if you don't mind telling me a little bit about kind of what's been going on in your life, things that have been triggering maybe your depression and anxiety that have brought you in to see us.
Yeah, I just get depressed sometimes and have really bad anxiety all day sometimes.
Okay. When you say you get depressed sometimes, what does that look like for you? Are there things that happen or ways that you feel that indicate to you that you're depressed?
Yeah, I don't feel the same, and I can just tell that I'm not in the usual mood that I'm in.
Okay. Do you have any physical, things that come up? Like it could be sleeping too much or, feeling like you don't have much energy, failing to get things done in a timely manner like you usually do. Anything like that?
Yeah, probably like sleeping too much.
Okay, gotcha. And same thing with your anxiety. How can you tell when you're anxious? What sort of things change or any, physical processes that happen that let you know that you're feeling anxious?
It just gets harder to breathe and my body starts to shake sometimes.
Okay. Well, and going back to my initial question, do you have any feelings or any, inclination into what may have happened to trigger these concerns? Is it something you've just dealt with for most of your life, or has something, recently happened that may have triggered an increase in your depression and anxiety?
I think it's just a little bit of everything, probably.
Okay, so just a culmination of everything in your
Yeah.
life up until this point, pretty much? Okay. Well, Bob, I really appreciate you opening up to me so far today in our session. I know it can be hard to talk about the things that are bringing you in for therapy. I really commend you for, taking this step. So now that we've kind of touched on the things that are, upsetting you and bringing you into therapy, I wanted to go ahead and move into our first art session. So this session will most likely be the first of somewhere around 12 sessions. We can always go for longer if you feel like after those 12 sessions you're still needing some more support. So it's really guided by how you're feeling throughout this whole process. Have you worked with many different art mediums before?
Not really, no.
Okay. Well, today we're going to start out with something that's maybe physically kind of simple, but emotionally a little more challenging. We do have some pastels here and paper in front of you, so that is what we're going to use for the activity today. And this activity will be sort of a more guided exercise. So I will kind of talk you through what we're going to do, and then I'll give you some time to work through the process, and we'll kind of come back together after the fact and see how that went for you and how you felt during that process, okay?
Okay.
Before we start, do you have any questions? Do you need to get a glass of water or anything like that? Okay. Very good. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to actually ask you to close your eyes. And you'll keep your eyes closed just for the first part of this assignment, okay? Or this exercise. So in today's session, we're going to explore the raw emotions that you're bringing with you into this therapeutic process. So what I want you to do is take a second to focus your breathing. You can take a slow breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just try and really slow down, focus on that breath a little bit. And as you take those nice and slow breaths, you may feel your body begin to still and relax. As you keep breathing slowly, your mind should start to relax. Make sure you're just taking big deep breaths through the nose and out through the mouth. As you continue taking these nice slow breaths, I want you to start thinking of emotions that you've been holding inside yourself, emotions that may have brought you into therapy with me today. You may have a whole multitude of emotions in there. It could be sadness, frustration, anger, disappointment, could even be emptiness as an emotion. What I want you to do is try to pinpoint the emotion that you feel the strongest pull towards. You don't necessarily need to give it a name, but wherever you're feeling the strongest pull, I want you to try and picture that emotion in your mind. You can picture how it makes you feel, how it feels inside of you. As you're thinking about that emotion, I want you to try and picture what it might look like. What shape does it seem to take on? Does this emotion have any color to it? Are the colors bright or are they dull? Is this emotion moving about in your mind, or is it more of a still image? Just take a moment here to really think about this emotion and identify how it is unique. As you feel comfortable, I'll have you bring some focus back to your body. You can wiggle your fingertips or take a stretch if you need to. Whenever you're feeling ready, you can open up your eyes and connect back to our session here. So I want you to go ahead and take a moment now to try and translate that emotion onto the paper in front of you. So again, we have our pastels here. If you haven't used pastels before, it's very much like using a crayon. So I want you to just do your best. There's no right or wrong way to translate this emotion down to the paper, okay? So as you reach for your first pastel, you can remember kind of the colors that you felt this emotion may have. And whenever you're ready, you may take your time and begin drawing, okay? As you bring your emotion to life, you may think about whether this shape has curved edges or jagged edges, whether it's symmetrical or asymmetrical, if the colors are solid or maybe they fade into each other. you take your time to do this, okay? Colors. Do you have a name for the emotion that you were able to draw? Or is it sort of more of an ambiguous, just internal feeling?
Just kind of like an internal feeling.
Okay. Can you kind of explain to me what it is? I mean, is it something that brings up like anger and fear, or maybe more sadness, more emptiness? Any inkling of kind of what it leans towards?
So I basically drew half a heart, and basically what the black ball represents is just kind of like that feeling of like emptiness, like anxiety, like guilt, all that just bouncing around inside you. And then kind of the purple stuff is just like the path, like the damage it can create inside of you if you just let it like bounce around. It's just kind of like the path of destruction, and that's just like an endless like pit inside you.
Okay. I feel like that was really good insight from you. Do you feel like putting this down on paper kind of helped to draw that insight out of you a little bit more?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I know at the beginning when we were chatting, it was kind of harder for you to pinpoint, you know, what exactly has brought you to therapy other than those kind of grander diagnoses of anxiety and depression. And, you know, through this, it sounds like you really have been able to kind of channel some of that and focus it a bit more. Do you agree with that? Do you feel like that has helped you in that way?
Yeah, I feel like it's helped and feel a little bit better.
Do you feel like you're able to kind of like leave some of this, you know, theoretically speaking, here with me today now that you've put it down on the paper?
Yeah, definitely.
Good. Well, today, what are you feeling like you want to do? Do you want to take this with you or leave it? Do you want to destroy it?
I could leave it here.
Okay, you want to leave it for now?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Well, we will keep this here with us then. And it looks like we are doing weekly sessions as of now. Okay. Yeah. All right. Very good. Well, do you have any final thoughts or, you know, even questions, anything as we close out today?
Not really. No.
Okay. Very good. Well, I appreciate you coming in to see me, and I'm looking forward to getting to work with you and kind of see where we can take this art therapy, and hopefully it will help decrease that anxiety and depression that you're feeling.